Welcome back, it's good to see you. Now today we're not going to be doing a balloon tutorial, but we are going to be covering something that I'm sure some of you probably have questions about, and that is a balloon setup. I'm going to show you the setup that I use when I go to shows, and I'll also show you how to put it together. The setup that I use is fairly cut and paste, which means you don't have to have the exact setup I use to utilize the type of setup that I have. However, the bag that I use, I find is, my personal opinion, I think it's one of the best on the market. I feel that it meets the needs of twisters as far as the amount of stock that we need to carry without being too much. So it keeps a lightweight setup and it fits right over your pump. And this is what we have. You'll see all of the pockets are filled based on categories, I guess you could say, and all the balloons are nozzled up, which is very important because it allows me to take a bag of balloons and really condense them to a small space, which in turn allows me to carry a large pallet that I can make almost anything with because I have such a variety. And on the side, I have mesh pockets, and they're see-through, so I know what I'm looking at. And this contains all of my prints, my specialty shapes, my agates, my linkaloons, everything you can imagine. There we go. And I also have headbands, LEDs, and stuffers. Then what I do is I separate the bags in half, and I make cartridges of 50. And I roll the balloons in a thick plastic table cover. This is a plastic table protectant. It's very thick. They have thin plastic covers that are kind of like saran wrap, but I find the thicker ones to work best. And I'll show you how I wrap these in a little bit. But right now, I'd like to tell you about how I lay my bag out. For my bag, I organize them by categories, color categories. I have my pastels over here, my primary colors here. I have one pouch for storage. This is going to contain my Sharpies, my cutters, extra headbands are in here. And we'll skip this one. This is my character assortment, or my earth tone assortment. I have all of my grays, my blush, my tan, my white, my black. Over here I have 160s, and then over here I have 360s. And I also have brown and mocha in here as well. And going back to the one we skipped over, this is all of my different size balloons. Size is different than 260s. So in here I have my 160s, my 360s, and my 660s. And this is kind of like my miscellaneous container. You can see I have all the specialty shapes in there. Here we go. I tucked the case underneath. Okay, here we go. You can see all the specialty shapes around here. Headbands and everything. And then on the top, you can see I have all those pockets. The last thing I'd like to mention about this bag is it has a built-in cover. You see it goes around the outside. It's a very heavy-duty cover, so nothing will scratch it. And it covers the top too, so you're good to go. If any of you are interested in finding out more about this bag or possibly getting one for yourself, I had this made for me by a gentleman by the name of Ken Shoot. You can check out his website, thestencilguy.com, go and click on balloon stuff, and scroll down until you see the balloon pump gear bag. Now, depending on which pump you use, I got this bag to go over a filbert, but it also fits over my aircraft, and he has bags that go over Mac pumps as well. Okay, well that's my setup. I also, on the side pockets, I have them organized so there's a section of pockets for rounds, a section for prints, and they're categorized like that. But now I want to show you how I actually roll the balloons. You're going to need a bag of balloons, obviously, 2 balloon scraps, a piece of your plastic table cover, and a pair of scissors. Now for the size of your plastic table cover, you're going to want to make it about 1 foot long, and then for the height, get one of your balloons and lay it on top. You should have about 1 inch of room at the top and 1 inch of room at the bottom, and the majority of the balloon should be covered by the plastic. As long as you have that, you're good to go. Next, you're going to want to sort your balloons so they're nozzle up on top of the plastic. This is one of my last bags of Metallic that's loose like this. All the other bags I've been ordering have been nozzle up, which really saved me a lot of time. After the balloons are sorted nozzled up, you're going to want to make sure all of the ends are nice and straight. So you can tap them a little bit like that. And then, this is the important part, you're going to want to take the plastic piece closest to you, scoop the balloons that are farthest from you, wrap the plastic over and underneath the balloons to make like a cylinder, a very loose cylinder. Then you're going to take the plastic piece that's farthest away from you, and while you're holding on to this cylinder over here, you're going to pull and tighten the cylinder. After you have the cylinder tightened, you can grab it with both hands and start to roll, being careful not to get any of the nozzles or the tips inside. After your roll is complete, you'll see there's a lot of room up here at the end. We want these balloons to be fairly close to the edge of the plastic, but we want to give them a little bit of room. So I'm going to pull on them slightly, very, very slightly, and you can see now they're fairly close. Then you're going to take one of your scraps of balloon, put it about 1 inch away from the top of the plastic, and you're going to wrap it around 2 or 3 times. After that, tie it off. And trim the excess. Then you're going to tie the bottom off, like so, and now your balloon roll is complete. Now, when I do big festivals, and I mean big, I have to do quick things, but I want them to be the same quality as the stuff that I always make. So that is when I use this. Now, besides my balloon pump, this is my entire setup for festivals. And we're going to go over all the parts on this here. So the first thing you'll see is the sign. And signage is very important for festivals. I have a lot of people in line that take pictures of this, and they'll use it kind of like a business card to get in touch with me. And it's also very visible from far away, so very important. The second thing here is my stand. Now, if they ever have you in a grassy area or a rocky path or uneven ground, you want to make sure you have a heavy-duty stand and one that's very supportive so your equipment doesn't fall over. This is actually from my old drum set that I used in high school and college. The next thing that we're going to talk about here is the top, and for storing balloons, this is the pocket that I use. I put the loose bags of balloons in here because typically for a festival I go through about 4 or 5 bags of balloons. And I know some people roll their balloons, but if you're going to use the whole bag anyway in one show, why not just use the loose bag? I mean, you know, you can still make them look nice, but, you know, I find that rolling them is a little bit of a waste of time if you're going to use the whole thing. The second compartment here I use for storage. I'll put a coat or a water bottle. I also have an extra bag of balloons down there. It's a little bit bigger. And then I have a nice little small workspace here. I put my phone over here, some markers, and then business cards on a stand right here. And then on the side, I have my specialty shapes and prints. So I usually put my hearts and geos and everything in the top one here, and I mix the colors. And then over here I have my specialty prints, and then I have my 321s over here. So that's what I use for festivals. It works really well, and it's really heavy duty as well. One other thing I wanted to talk to you about, which I can't really show you because it's packed in my car ready for a show this weekend, but I wanted to talk to you about how I transport this case. The first thing that I do after I'm done with a show when I pack up is I have all of my balloons here. I just make sure they're nice and neat, and then I take this case, fold it down, and stick it right in there. Then I have a cover that goes over this whole thing. It just goes right over, leaving space in the middle for the handles. And then I pick this up, put this on my dolly. I have a little hand cart, and then this folds up as well. It goes on the back of the hand cart, and I just wheel it away. Whichever setup you choose for your events, you always want to make sure of 3 things. 1, it's easy to transport and easy to move. 2, it looks professional. And 3, that it's comfortable for you. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye-bye.